What is edge computing? According to Microsoft, edge computing allows devices in the field or in the shop floor to analyze data in real time rather than transmitting it back to the central server or cloud for processing. This approach reduces latency, bandwidth usage, and cost associated with data transmission. When I think of a data center, I think of the data center that I find about 76 miles north of Birmingham, Alabama. This is Meta's data center. It took them 5 years to build it out. It contains 3.5 million square feet of space, and it cost them, it's estimated to be $1.5 billion. But that's not edge computing. I want to show you something I found that I think tells you what edge computing is all about. It's even to the point where it will be prefab. That is, all the parts will be brought to a center, whether it be a flat piece of land or adapt your local Walgreens or your local strip center, such that the data center will be built on site so that it can process the data, then accessing all the edge devices, the Internet of Things, and giving it a local place to be processed, thus reducing that latency and making it more appropriate for smaller businesses. Latency means the time it takes to get the information to and from the location. Think of it as an autonomous automobile, and a 6-year-old steps out in front of your car. How long does it take for that data to be processed from a camera, put into a data center, and then processed back to the car and the brakes put on? Well, if the data center is a smaller facility within the community, you can see it will work much, much faster. It also thus reduces or improves security. That is, if you're a company and you have your own data and you don't want it processed up in Huntsville, Alabama, or somewhere in West Virginia, it's all in your premises, and it's much cheaper and efficient than what you've experienced in the past. Now, many of these, as I say, are prefab. This is a company out of India called Parasa, P-A-R-A-S-A, a private company, but it gives you an idea of what this all could eventually look like and how data centers could end up right in your neighborhood. And the thing that really excites me about this is the future. And this is, in fact, why semiconductors and GPUs and CPUs are going to be even in greater demand, as this data processing is no longer being done up in Huntsville, but it's being done in our neighborhood. Eventually, this is edge computing. Edge compute will come to my office. Eventually, there will be a prefab server that will take care of my needs, and eventually there will be a prefab server that you will decide, do I want that in my house to take care of my compute needs, to organize every element of my life, to make reservations for me, to keep track of my utility bills, and adjust my Internet of Things throughout my house, throughout my car, to benefit me on a individual basis. Edge computing is moving out of that data center, or in addition to that data center, to prefab locations in your community. And then it's not a far reach to say it's also going to reach into my house, and I will be part of edge computing. Again, How do I invest in that? I invest in companies like this one in India, except it's not a public company. I find them here in the United States, and I see where they are, analyze them, see how, if they are hiring people, if they are growing, and thus I determine, is that an investment I may want to make? I think it's really important right now, if you're an investor and you want to benefit from what is going to happen in the future, that you pay attention to what is happening in this whole space. I know the focus is on NVIDIA, but NVIDIA is the catalyst that is going to make all this other possible. It is going to eventually, as I say, bring that edge to right over there, right next to that little statue there. That's where the edge will eventually be. So, who's going to make that happen? Who's going to benefit from it? And how do I find them? I do the research, I dig into these sort of things, and I find out who's on the edge and who's going to take me to the edge. I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. I enjoy discovering things like this. I enjoy waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and saying, wait a second, who are going to be the companies that are going to grow? And how can I identify them by using the data that is now available to me to determine who's going to make that prefab data center down the street from me and down the street from you? Who is going to grow that? And what data do I need to look at to identify them? I want you to understand this data was always available, but you would have had to collect the earnings reports and the annual reports of 6,500 companies, ask them to send that annual report to you, and then you would need to thumb through it. Or today, if you know the right questions to ask, ChatGPT and Meta AI and Gemini, they'll tell you. They'll search the data. Then if you can build an algorithm that says, show me a company in this area of growth and show me the characteristics of a growing company so that I can identify it before it skyrockets. That's what my challenge is. That's what Best of Us Investors Challenge is. I invite you to come to our website. It's going to be changing over the next 60 days. We're going to take all these things I'm talking about, all this data, and we're going to put it in a very easy to understand format. And then we're going to give you the ability to enter the ticker symbol that you're interested in and say, hey, compare these to Kerry's metrics of identifying a company that is going to grow, that is currently profitable, that is increasing its revenues and its profits and its price. That's what Best of Us Investors is going to bring you. And right now, we're focusing on edge computing. Come focus with us. Come learn with us. Come be a part of the world that's about to change your life.